What up, everybody? It's iPadBeatmaking.com here today on December 23rd, 2022, giving you some news you can use. Now, I got people that love me. It's the holidays, so I gotta de-screen and go on a digital deep clean. Can't be talking apps with y'all all day, every day on the holy days. In any case, we got a lot of ground to cover today. This is probably the most action-packed holiday season for iOS apps that has ever existed as far as I've known about iOS. This is crazy. It seems like every day we've got a new app dropping. So this Christmas, you probably want to tell them, listen, don't give me any gifts, just give me gift cards. I'll take them in the Apple format, please and thank you. And that's all you need. You know, they can put all your gifts inside of a single envelope and you'll be fine. Now, if you enjoy the video, please be sure to hit the like button as well as the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you don't miss out on the latest news, tips, tricks, sales, beats, reviews, updates, and more. And let me know your thoughts down in the comment section about all of these apps as we go, and what apps did I miss, what sales did I miss, all that good stuff. Let me know down in the comment section. And now with all that out the way, let's get to the apps. All right, so first up we got Roland's ZenBeats, which has been updated to version 3.1.3, and they say they've added a new arpeggiator plugin, had an improvement to the channel strip section for MIDI plugins, and an updated print MIDI effects function in the routing menu, and numerous bug fixes and enhancements. And so I'm gonna open it up now, and I gotta tell you that my first impression of ZenBeats with this update, I actually kind of liked. I thought that this right here was pretty clever. The MIDI effects, this is how I want to see the MIDI effects presented. The only issue I'm having with this update is brace yourself for the noise that you're gonna get with this. Let me go ahead and assign an instrument to it. So brace yourself for the sound that you're gonna hear. You might want to turn your volume down. I don't know how loud this is gonna be. If I was to go ahead and launch and then draw in, you hear that? If I hit the stop button, with Adam being launched, that's the sound we get. I'd like to see that get fixed within ZenBeats, but having this MIDI effect button here is really nice. And let's see, ZenBeats. So there's the arpeggiator. All right, so we got our arpeggiator here. And as we can see, we could switch the pattern up. And I always like a good arpeggiator, so for me, this is a big win. Definitely a big win to get the arpeggiator, but again, I would like to see them fix. And I hit stop. We get that, so something to be mindful of. I hope the ZenBeats team sees this, because other than this issue for me right now, it's the only one I've really found that's kind of, you know, made ZenBeats not as usable as I would like it to be. Other than that, I think it's a pretty good looking app. And if you would like to see some videos on ZenBeats, me cooking up, making some beats in it, let me know down in the comment section. I just might make that happen. But yeah, that is the new ZenBeats update. Let me know what you think. Are you a ZenBeats user? Are you enjoying the update? Anything you're noticing? Do you think ZenBeats is the path forward? You think Roland's cooking with something here? Let me know down in the comment section below. Moving on from ZenBeats, we have Audio Evolution Mobile, which has an update, and this has got to be probably the most updated DAW on iOS. I mean, the update log. Let me see if we can find the update log real quick. Look at this update log. This is crazy. 1 hour ago, 3 days ago, 6 days ago, 1 week ago, 1 month 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 ago, 4 months ago. I mean, look at this. This is insane. In the past year, let's just count how many there's been in the past year. 24, 25 updates at least in the past year. Now that is an average of like 2 per month for the past year, if we like were to average that out. Pretty incredible. This one adds merge audio clips option to the audio clip pop-up menu that will merge selected audio clips that are on the track without effect processing. And they solved an issue where tapping twice on the screen would trigger a double tap event even when the two taps were far apart. And it solved a possible freeze that could occur after playing the virtual keyboard unarmed. So let me go ahead and update this app now, and let's take a look at what that looks like. All right, so we're launching Audio Evolution Mobile now. We can see the update log right here. And let me go ahead and just record. Let me get my other microphone real quick. Recording, check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Check, and then let's go to the next one. Check 1, 2, check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so now we got those both recorded. Let's see if we can bring these together with a merge clip option. Do they have to be touching? Let's find out. Or can we select them all? Select them both. And let's see if we got a merge selected clips. That is pretty cool. So this is how you do the new merge selected clips within Audio Evolution Mobile. You just take the select them, and go ahead and hit merge selected clips, and bam. So now that gap is filled in, and this can be incredibly useful for something like, so you got this vocal done here and this vocal done here, but throughout the process of recording, there is a chance you could go ahead and in a click inadvertently, move it, and now it's out of time, and that's not something you want to deal with. What you can now do is select, merge selected clips, and you now have the ability to make sure that they can never move independently of each other. And if I'm correct, then what's in between here should still be silence. That's what I would guess. But yeah, pretty cool indeed. Great to see that new feature inside of Audio Evolution Mobile. And I don't know about you, but I've been really impressed with Audio Evolution Mobile's evolution, I guess we'll call it. I know I probably sound like I'm biased when comparing these things to Cubasis, but I do try to keep it as fair as possible at all times. Cubasis also did release an update as well this past week, version 3.5. And we actually did a comparison video to Audio Evolution Mobile and Cubasis 3.5 that you can watch here after you're done with this video, of course. But in this video, we took a deep dive from the perspective of an audio recorder, so a person tracking vocals more than likely would really enjoy this video and see what its use case is. That's what the focus was. And let me know if you agree with what you saw in the video. Try to keep it as fair as possible, unbiased as possible, but both great apps. I think they serve slightly different markets, even though there's a bit of a Venn diagram there where they have similarities. They do certain things really similarly. I think the strengths of one and the strengths of the other show themselves in a few different ways. Be sure to check out the video for more detail on that. But shout out to Steinberg for getting Cubasis to 3.5. Our first impressions video is here, but if you actually want to walk through of some of the things that it can do, I recommend you check out Mobile Music Pro's Cubasis 3.5 video on the specific enhancements that Cubasis 3.5 has added and shows you the way those things look in real time. So if you're interested in that, be sure to check out that video as well. And not to be left out of the DAW/Groovebox conversation, we've got Drambo, which has a huge update, version 2.20, and there are some major changes and improvements that have been added that I'm a really big fan of. First of all, Drambo folder is public and available in the iOS Files app. Let me tell you something, this is huge because there's been times I've wanted to share kits, I've wanted to share sounds or even recordings, and you used to have to go through WebDAV in order to do that, and it just was way too much work, not worth the effort. And then on top of that, the person on the other side, you got to explain to them how to install it. It just was a messy situation overall. So this is a huge win now that Drambo has made these folders public, meaning that you can see them without using WebDAV, that kind of thing. Not public as in anyone can see your folders, but you can see your own folders. You know what I mean? Anyways, Clips can be named and have a custom length, which is great. RCK pads mode, you can load presets directly on the pads. Metronome added auto mode, volume, and type, which I really like that you can switch out the metronomes. I don't know what the deal is lately with these apps and the fact that they want you to be able to change the metronome, but I'm enjoying that. Cubasis recently added a option to change the sound of the metronome, and now Drambo has done that as well. And if you hit undo plus on a notepad, you can remove the note from the current sequence. This is useful for if you didn't want, say, the snare or the hi-hat or whatever on your drum track. You can go ahead and hit that combination of buttons and it will remove that specific pad sound for you, if that makes sense. I think this is also on Beatmaker 3, but it's good to see it in Drambo as well. Now we've got new modules. We've got the custom rack, the randomizer, instantly randomize any number of parameters within the given range polyphonically, punch-in effects, punch-in looper, fur generator, shift register, MIDI gate, convolver, is that how you say that? Convolver, added standard Apple audio units if you have iOS 16, and they've upgraded the audio unit MIDI module. The record button has been added. This is so important. This is huge, and I'll go over why in a moment. They've added shaper, clip mode added, alias suppress, function module, equality operation added, rack menu randomized function, analog filter, new MM12 OB multimode filter. Listen, I'm not going to pretend I know what most of these things are. Nonetheless, they've added a bunch of improvements, and for a more deep dive on how to do some of this stuff, I recommend you check out like Echo Opera's channel. He's definitely going over some of these things more in depth, and he's got a way better comprehension of all the different things Drambo can do than I do for sure. But I'm going to briefly, very briefly, go over some of the things that I enjoy and like about Drambo in this update. So first of all, we've got this record button right here, which is something that I just love. I think it's so important. So I'll give you an example of how I'm using it here. And just so y'all know, man, if y'all have not updated to iOS 16 and you're using a Magic keyboard case or any of that, I recommend you maybe stay away from it, because I'm clicking right now the add button and it doesn't work. And so I can click this and it doesn't work, so I have to use my finger or my pencil, pause, in order to get this to work. The mouse doesn't work at all. It does not click. You have to turn on a certain mode inside of iOS accessibility, which I don't really like using, but you have to turn it on in order to get this to click and work, which is crazy that iOS 16 has cost us the functionality of clicking within Atom Piano Roll 2. Really unfortunate, but yeah, something to be aware of if you have not upgraded yet and we're thinking about taking the plunge. Anyways, we've got this here that we put together, this little MIDI clip. Let me make sure I launched it. Okay, it's launched. I'm not even gonna assign an instrument to it because I don't want us to have to listen to this that I put together. Now, if we just hit play, right, it will only do one bar, I believe. And then it'll loop, right? But if we were to actually hit record, we could go ahead and get it to auto grow and just keep on going and going and going for as long as we want the auto grow to work. And the auto grow is really something I love about Drambo. I think it is incredible when you're in the flow. Just, you don't know how long your playing is going to be. The fact that you've got this auto grow feature is pretty incredible indeed. And so yeah, that's how you auto grow that. And as you can see, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 bars, totally awkward, whatever. We got that working, and I like that you can just drag and drop to you know, whatever pad you want in order to do your sequence. I think that's pretty special. And the next thing I'm gonna show y'all is right here we have the RCK button. We could go ahead and, let me stop this from playing. We could choose our instrument rack or our AU instrument or our track. And so let's go AU instrument. We could go ahead and cycle through all of our different audio units. These, so far from what I'm seeing, are not MIDI assignable. I wish they were. The pads in general are MIDI assignable, as you can see, but they're not responding to the MIDI assignments that I've given them. in order to be able to select an audio unit with a MIDI controller. I wish that was the case. Maybe in a future update we'll be able to get that, but currently not right now. But yeah, so we can go through here and select the audio units from one of these pads. The way that we used to have to do it before and can still do it today is to go ahead and hit audio unit instrument, and you can search audio units, which is great. But you used to have to go through this menu, scroll. Not bad at all in terms of workflow. It's just about what you feel like, you know, going through. But yeah, so you could do it that way, or we could delete it and we could just select it from right here instead, which is pretty cool indeed. Switch back to our pads, which we can scale lock and do all that kind of stuff with, which is pretty cool. And now we can play it back. So yeah, those are a couple of the highlights with the Drambo update. And again, I recommend you check out Echo Opera's channel or some other channels that really do the deep dives into Drambo so that you can better understand all the different things that Drambo can do if you're trying to build out a module and whatnot. I really think it is one of the best groove boxes on iOS for just cooking up something really fast. I'm a Nano Studio 2 head and a Beatmaker 3 head, so I'm probably quicker in those apps, but there is a lot to love about Drambo. It's really fast once you get to know the app. You can really get flowing quite easily. So I recommend everyone check out Drambo for sure. I love hosting my 808s in it. It's where I've decided I'm going to just start putting a lot of my samples in general that are 808 based, because I can do so much in terms of manipulating them. And it also works on M1 and M2 Max. So you can go ahead and use this with apps like Ableton, Multitrack Studio, and probably Logic as well. So that's a great win. You can go ahead and take your sample templates that you build within Drambo cross-platform, and it sounds great. So that is a quick highlight of the Drambo update. And Baby Audio has introduced a freebie to iOS, which is incredible. It's called Pitch Drift, and it says Pitch Drift is a free AUV3 effect plugin by Baby Audio that introduces organic sounding pitch fluctuations. It can range from subtle instabilities that make your instrument sound more natural and less sterile to intense pitch drifting that will make your tracks clearly out of tune. Pitch Drift lets you control the depth and speed of the pitch fluctuations in a simple interface. It is powered by the drift algorithm in Baby Audio's Super VHS plugin and offers the same natural and pleasing fluctuation effect. It's inspired by real instruments. One of the appeals of acoustic instruments is that they are never 100% in tune 100% of the time. These subtle pitch fluctuations compound when you bring multiple instruments together in a mix, making the music sound richer and more dynamic. However, in the computer era, this concept is sometimes lost. Pitch Drift makes it fast and easy to break the spell of digital pitch perfection and get your tracks to vibrate a little more. It generally works best at subtle levels on sustained tonal instruments or entire mixed buses. As a rule of thumb, the less sustained your source is, the faster you want the speed parameter to be set. So definitely check that out. I mean, it's incredible that they're offering this up for free. I mean, how special is that? For iOS, and I believe there's probably a desktop app that's free as well for this. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't, I'm not for sure. But yeah, be sure to check that out. And if you have not already, be sure to also check out the rest of the Baby Audio collection, whether that's I Heart New York 2, which is a great compressor. They've got Crystalline, which is a reverb, and Magic Dice and Magic Switch. Now, if you are subscribed to the channel and you have notifications on, which why wouldn't you be subscribed to the channel with notifications on? I don't know. But anyways, if you're subscribed to the channel with notifications on, then you have already seen the video that we covered going over the Swamp update here. But to go ahead and refresh your memory, Swamp is now available on iPhone. That is the biggest thing with this update, is if you've bought the Swamp apps on iPad, they are now available on iPhone, which is nothing short of incredible. They take up a really small footprint. As you can see, this app is only 47 megabytes and this app is 98 megabytes. So all of them are pretty much around 100 megabytes or less, which is huge for what this can do in terms of the modeling. It's better than having a sample library. Honestly, way more expressive, and I recommend everyone grab them. They're definitely cheaper than desktop, although they are still pricey. You know, when you consider the other things of iOS, they are definitely pricey, but I recommend you grab them if they interest you. But yeah, the biggest thing is that they're available on iPhone now, and the implementation on iPhone was really nice. Again, check out the video I just referenced and you can see exactly how it works. And next up, we've got GSDSP MagicDelay Spectral Delay AUV3. I have not gotten a chance to actually use this delay yet, so I cannot give you a personal review on it. I do know that it comes from the desktop world and has been ported over to iOS. I believe it is currently $20 and it's priced at 50% off. And it says, MagicDelay is a professional studio-grade spectral delay effect. Spectral because it allows the effect amount to be controlled per frequency, as if you had thousands of delays combined into one, something not possible in the analog world. Controlling thousands of delay times sounds complicated, but we made this process really simple. At the heart of MagicDelay is the curve editor, where you can draw up 4 separate curves and fluently morph between them using the adjacent XY pad. The final morph curve can be inverted, shifted, and skewed for further creative control. The delay features 2 feedback types, control of the amount of feedback, and high and low pass filters. In just a few seconds, you can have, for example, a regular 8th delay for the low mids and a dotted 8th delay for the highs, or any other combination you can think of. A great delay needs a great modulation system. In the modulation panel, tap on an empty modulation slot to get going. Anyways, I was really curious about this app, and I always want to support a desktop developer coming over to iOS, so I went ahead and grabbed this kind of sight unseen. I hadn't even read or researched it at all. I just wanted to make sure I supported the dev. So yeah, if you are curious about it, be sure to check out some other videos that definitely go in depth about it, and you can see if it is right for you. But for me, I wanted to support the dev for bringing over a desktop port. And speaking of desktop ports, we now have Knock by Decap, and this app is phenomenal. I have been using this app for some time. It is $29.99 right now, and I'm really enjoying it. And I was gonna do a video dedicated to this app, and I still might do a breakdown of it, but I think that Brandon Rico's The Sound Test Room and Rhyming on the Beats did great breakdowns and comparisons using Knock. So definitely check out those videos in the meantime if you want to get an understanding of what this app can do. It's currently priced at $29.99, which I feel like is more than fair. Everything we're getting on iOS is usually discounted from its desktop counterpart. And the fact of the matter is, we're gonna have to just get with the fact that they take time, they take money to develop. So there is some controversy that some of these desktop ports are like $20 and $30. I mean, in my opinion, get over it. It's a fair price. There's a lot of work, a lot of things that go into making these plugins. The beta testing periods are sometimes months long. You're usually getting updates for at least a year. In my opinion, if you really want iOS music to be one-to-one in terms of power, capability, feature set of that as desktop, and I don't mean the same experience as desktop, right? Because desktop has its own experience dedicated to the keyboard and the mouse, but the same power, meaning that via the touch device, it's optimized for the touch interface, but you get the same plugin power. You know, you're able to use some of those same plugins that are on desktop on iOS. You're gonna have to get with paying reasonable and fair prices. The day of the $3.99 plugin, and then you can just go ahead and have free updates for life. That's crazy. Who can really live off that? You wouldn't live off that. You wouldn't accept that if you put this work in to make these plugins come to iOS. So man, support the developers. Let them know that you want these things and that you will support these things. Other companies are watching how we react to these desktop ports coming over. So let's do ourselves a solid and go ahead and support them if you're able to, and these things fit into the wheelhouse. Let's not complain about the price. Even if it's not the plugin for us, why complain about the price? Just let it be what it is. You know, let the market decide what it's going to be. Maybe it's for you, maybe it's not, but if it's for you, you should deeply consider it, especially if it's going to save you time in the long run. Anyways, ran over, but just wanted to say that. And speaking of more desktop ports, these ports are, I don't want to say old, they're definitely not old. This bundle was just released, but it wasn't done this week, so I guess by new standards it's a little bit old, but I've never really mentioned them before, so I want to give some screen time to these apps right now. We've got Unfiltered Audio. They've come out with a plugin bundle. It is $19.99 and it comes with 5 plugins valued at about $5 each, and that includes bass, mint, silo, granulator and reverb, needlepoint vinyl simulator, lo-fi AF, or as you know the word, and tails dual reverb. And I really like these plugins. I've been playing with these for a while now, and they just got a really unique and cool sound, and I'm just glad to see more iOS ports. I think it's incredible. So I definitely recommend you get this bundle. You know, I don't think you should just pick one of these. I think you should get the bundle, but obviously do your own research and due diligence first to make sure that they fit the wheelhouse of what you want to go for. But more good news on the desktop plugins coming over to iOS. Always a good thing in my opinion. It gives iOS more exposure naturally because these companies who have a lot of fans, I'm not saying them specifically, but a lot of desktop companies have bigger fan bases, bigger user bases, and we are able to have them market iOS for us in a way. They're able to post, hey, we just released this app for iPad or iPhone or whatever. And a lot of people go, whoa, really? iPhone, iPad? You could do music, you could do AUV3s, you could host, it's like a computer, but it's in your pocket. And you know, people are discovering it for the first time when some of these companies make that announcement. So it's all a good thing, and it just puts more pressure on the big guys, you know, your Native Instruments, etc., to really give us desktop class experiences on iOS. And for you sound designer and modular people out there, we've got Audulus 4, a universe of sound, and this is said to have a freemium model, so you can download it for free, and from there you can do an in-app purchase of $20 or $19.99 for the patch editing feature. And it says, with Audulus you can build synthesizers, design new sounds, or process audio, all with low latency real-time processing suitable for live performance. Audulus's user interface is clean, simple, and easy to learn, allowing you to focus on sound, a universe of sound. Praise for Audulus 3. Audulus 3 is out and stunning. Some of the key features are that it's standalone or plug-in via AUV3, cloud integration across macOS and iPad, extensive node library, raw materials for patching, extensive module library, synthesis toolkit, MIDI I/O and MIDI learn, arbitrary multi-channel signal flow for polyphony and beyond, smooth and fast graphics interaction for complex patches, custom module design, custom vector graphics scripting for UI, and GLSL shaders for advanced graphics. I'm gonna tell you the truth, I have no idea about anything regarding this app. I'm not gonna pretend to. If you're interested in it, definitely check out some videos or read some articles or the manual on this app, but I'm glad to see it here. It looks like it's a great update, and yeah, it's not too bad in price. Freemium, you can download it free, check it out, see what you think. $19.99 unlock, not bad at all. And Audanika, I think that's how you say it, Audanika. This is formerly Sound Prism, I believe, and it's been updated with more than 100 Christmas songs to replay are available as in-app purchases. More pieces will follow. Tone range of bass and chord area is freely adjustable. Limitation to 7 chords or lines has been removed. You can add more chord lines, play simultaneously in chords of all keys. Preset management, you can create your own song and configure sound, key, playing mode, etc. Switch quickly between songs, and illumination of the fields and dots can be configured. I've always thought that Sound Prism was really cool. I hated to see it go. Audanika looks like it's trying to fill the shoes that Sound Prism started, and it's got some cool features. I definitely recommend you check it out and see if it's for you. It's a pretty cool and playable surface. Takes a minute to learn, but you can see you do the bass here, the chord as a whole there, and then your melody, you know what I'm saying? So you can play some pretty complex stuff pretty easily. It's a pretty cool way to use the touch surface for sure. Really creative, really different. And it really does allow you to explore some chords and, you know, get a unique sound that you probably wouldn't have found on your own. So I definitely recommend you check out Audanika, see if it's for you. not gonna go over in this video because we're getting a little lengthy already. But yeah, be sure to check that out. And finally, we've got an app that I'm actually really surprised to see on iOS. I had heard it was on its way, and even then, I was surprised, but I'm still surprised to actually see it in the App Store right now. DaVinci Resolve for iPad. I had been using DaVinci Resolve on desktop for years, and I always really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really nice app, especially for the fact that you could get it for free or cheap. I forget what it cost back then, but the fact that we've got this kind of app on iPad now is really special, and the strides made in the video world on iOS are nothing short of remarkable. I mean, LumaFusion is super valid, super nice. I'm gonna use it to edit this video right now. I kid you not. I have Premiere and everything else, but I just prefer using LumaFusion. It's just way smoother, way faster, way funner. But anyways, let's get into DaVinci Resolve. It's, I guess, got a freemium model as well. You can download it for free. And the in-app purchase for DaVinci Resolve Studio is $94.99. For a video editing app with this kind of legacy, I think is perfectly fair. $100, less than $100 is not bad at all, especially in the world of video. And I believe I saw someone say that you can transfer projects back and forth from desktop to iPad or vice versa. Don't quote me on that. I can't confirm that myself, but I have heard that. And if that is true, that's incredible. This is what we need on iPad, these one-to-one ports that allow us to start one place, finish another, or vice versa. I don't believe it has AEV3 hosting yet like LumaFusion does, but still looks very valid and very worthy. I'm gonna read a little bit of the description here. I know y'all hate when I read, but hey, what am I gonna do? It's the news. It's gonna be boring sometimes. Nonetheless, let's get it. DaVinci Resolve for iPad is optimized for the iPad Pro with M1 and M2 chips. Earlier in iPad models with memory limitations have limited functionality available. Now, this is kind of controversial, but to be honest with you, I'm glad to start to see the delineation between the M1 and the M2 class of chips versus the rest of the iOS experience. Because to me, if you're trying to code for the lowest possible iPad, you're going to limit what your app can do naturally. So the fact that they just went for it, they coded it for the M1 and the M2, that was where their focus was, really allows you to use that horsepower, make the most of it. The fact that they're stating that up front, I think is really fair. And this day had to come. There had to be a day where we were going to get to apps that are specifically optimized for M1 and M2. And I don't think that's a bad thing, especially if we want to have the iPad go pro. And people always make jokes, hey, iPad Pro really isn't pro. And well, now it is. This is a use case where it is actually pro. DaVinci Resolve for iPad is the world's only solution that combines editing and color correction in one software tool. Its elegant modern interface is fast to learn and easy for new users, yet powerful for professionals. DaVinci Resolve lets you work faster and at a higher quality because you don't have to learn multiple apps or switch software for different tasks. That means you can work with camera original quality images throughout the entire process. It's like having your own post-production studio in a single app. Best of all, by learning DaVinci Resolve, you're learning how to use the exact same tools used by Hollywood professionals in high-end post-production studios. Turn work around fast using cut page editing. The cut page is perfect for projects with tight deadlines that you have to turn around quickly. It's also great for documentary work. The cut page has a streamlined interface that's fast to learn and designed for speed. Features such as source tape for visual media browsing, fast review, and smart editing tools help you work faster than ever. The sync bin and source overwrite tools are the fastest way to edit multicam programs with easy to create, perfectly synchronized cut always. With DaVinci Resolve, you'll spend more time editing and less time hunting for shots. And of course, if you know Resolve, you know it's got that legendary color correction, and it's got Blackmagic cloud collaboration and AI tools for creativity. AI is just taking over the world right now, and compatibility is recommended for Apple iPad Pro M1 or newer models. Earlier iPad models may be restricted to HD, and memory limitations may limit some features. DaVinci Resolve projects and project archives are fully compatible with DaVinci Resolve 18 on desktop. So there it is, confirmed within the release notes. And supported file formats include 264, 265, Apple ProRes, and Blackmagic RAW. Makes you want to get one of those Blackmagic RAW cameras just to use the app now with the iPad. Supports the Magic Keyboard, Apple Pencil, as well as Pro XDR displays. Why is it that the video editing apps always get this part right? They always understand that, yeah, we need the keyboard shortcuts and whatnot. Like, why is it that so many apps miss that part? I find that awkward. Nonetheless, it is ready for prime time. Looks really nice. I definitely recommend you check it out if you are into video editing at all, or color correction, etc, etc. With that said, this video has gone on long enough. I was gonna do the latest sales, but you know what, we don't got time for that today. So you know what, check out appslice.co or name some other sites down in the comment section that lets you compare the sale price of apps. That way you can see which apps are on the menu for your Christmas haul. With all that said, it's iPadBeatmaking.com. Peace.